Shut up and listen.
Rulers for 1,570 years. Thoth, also a son of Enki, was the first god of the second dynasty. Egypt was ruled for 3,650 years by 30 demigods. Scholars believe the Pharaonic dynasty began around 3,100 BC and lasted 350 years. It had its capital in Memphis, or Men-Nefer in Greek. Where did these deities come from? The Sumerian kings list further complicates clues to the mystery. According to the records, some of the first kings of Sumer ruled for up to 28,800 years. That is almost unimaginable. The deities worshipped in Mesopotamian temples taught all aspects of civilization to the Sumerians by the deities worshipped in Mesopotamian temples. Besides creating the zodiac, Sumerian deities knew the Earth's equinox orbital plane, tilt axis, and spherical shape. During the Middle Ages, Europe possessed less detailed knowledge than Sumer did. Despite this, Sumer and his surrounding region produced many of the first inventions and advanced achievements of civilizations, including mathematics, meteorology, and law codes. Various traditions describe sin, including those associated with Assyria, and the crescent moon symbol found on flags and mosques associated with Islam. The Sumerian goddess Inanna was also known as Hathor in Egypt, and her name is well known and memorialized in many temples, including the Temple of Hathor, found in the wilderness of the deity Nannar-Sin. Mesopotamian people recognized Nannar-Sin as the moon god, and the Egyptian people had Inanna, also known as Hathor. The authors readily inscribed in baked clay the genealogy accounts of Nannar-Sin as the son of Enlil in the Sumerian records, and he was known as the moon god to the people of the ancient Middle East. History shows that Nannar-Sin had a large following in his cult centers, spread throughout southern Iraq to Syria, Turkey, and Iran. What is the meaning of Nannar-Sin? Nannar-Sin might be the deity that Muhammad encountered in the wilderness, a sacred center for the religion of Islam. The Kaaba stone in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, was initially dedicated to the moon god called Allah there. The mere act of replacing one proper noun results in replacing another, especially with a deity's name. A new epithet replaces the old one. Comparisons between the Sumerian storm god Enlil in Lamentations of Ur and the god of vengeance in the Old Testament prove this. Being witnesses to the Sumerian deity Enlil, whose origins were mysterious, but whose daily existence had been recorded and witnessed by the biblical patriarch Abraham and people of the city of Ur, become the Anunnaki city one of the mountain El Shaddai. In the end, Jehovah became a fantastic discovery to the people of Israel that connected the gods of Sumeria with at least one of the gods of the Old Testament. Better-known gods were worshipped elsewhere in the region, like Enki, Aka Aharu Mazda, as he was known as the god of light and wisdom. Allah replaced Ahura Mazda, aka Nannar-Sin, when Arab conquerors overthrew the Persians in 633 BCE, headquartered at their spectacular capital at Persepolis. In 644 BCE, the Arabs invaded and caused the Zoroastrian faith to decline. Egyptian and Sumerian cultures frequently subsumed names and epithets to solidify power and authority. Several names were merged into a single name, tailor-made to fit the worshipping subject's culture and language. The purpose was probably to facilitate referring to rivals and aggregating data during convenient times. Considering that what one culture terms a deity, another culture terms another name, the idea of an Anunnaki myth takes on more significance, especially if the name is traceable across cultures. Likewise, the authority of political and religious beliefs in a society is determined by the ruling forces that select the purveyor of truth in history. According to the ruling party or superpower, religious truth originates from subordinated cultures, classified as pagan or occult. The winner's beliefs and what others believe is politely referred to as myths rather than as the politically incorrect label of the lie. The armies of Earth's generals have gathered once again in the Middle East, be it truth or fiction, dogma or doctrine. In the Anunnaki Gods trilogy by Zecharia Sitchin, Enlil and Enki and their offspring are described as having battled. Could this explain the current conflicts involving Iran, Iraq, Syria and Israel? Will Enki's offspring disturb the destructive plan of his arch-rival Enlil, Zeus to the Greeks, and his warmonger son, Ninurta, Apollo to the Greeks?